What's up, everyone? This is your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. How's everyone doing today? Um, Doing well myself. We're gonna do a short, easy day. Not really short, but just an easy day. I'm gonna watch a bunch of YouTube shorts. I'm gonna react to them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's what we're gonna do today. That's my plan. Nice, simple day. Um, oh man, sorry. I went to a spring fair with my family yesterday. And I'm sore. I'm tired. I'm doing good. I had a good time. All right. So, little housekeeping before we get started. Make sure you follow me on X at official W Ghost. It's the best way to find me and when I go live. Um, See my retweets, tweets, all that stuff. If you're very interested, don't think you should be, but if you are, you are. And then of course rumble.com/withghost. That is my main channel. Make sure you follow me there. YouTube.com/@withghost is if you want to follow me on YouTube. Twitch.tv @officialwithghost is of course Twitch. And then rumble.com/gamingwithghost is my gaming channel. You can follow me there. Same for Twitch. If you just watch my official with Ghost Twitch stream, you can find me streaming games there. And then YouTube is youtube.com/@gamingwithghost. All right, that's housekeeping. Sorry for being just a slightly bit late. I was putting everything together and it took longer than I thought it would. It is what it is. What can you do? But yeah, so let us enjoy the wonderful videos I got. Okay, hold on. Got one more thing to do before we get going. There we go. I had to make sure to pop out a chat window in case someone messaged me while I'm doing my stream on the Twitch, because I'm not sure if it shows up on Rumble. All right, let's get started, shall we? Like I said, it's gonna be a nice, easy day today. We're just gonna react to a bunch of videos. Now, I've saved these for a bit, so I honestly can't remember what they are. Not gonna lie. So
don't get about LGBTQ, yeah? So it's like there's L, which is lesbian, which is gay. The G is gay. B, bisexual. Gay. If you tell me you're bisexual, yeah, I already know you like girls. So what you're telling me is you like guys. So you're gay. All right? So gay. So I'm saying that's three that are in G. Yeah? So the LGB should just be G. So it'll be G. All them G's will compress into one G. Let me tell you why trans is gay as well. Let's say you're a male that transitions to a female, yeah? So are you a female that's a lesbian? Like, do you still like girls? Or do you like men now? Either way, you're gay. Because
I mean, it's hard to argue with that. That has to be some of the soundest logic I've ever heard. He has a point, you know.
do you know what I don't get about LGBTQ, yeah? So it's like there's L, which is lesbian, which is gay. The G is gay. B, bisexual. Gay. If you tell me you're bisexual.
I mean, look, it's kind of a good point. What he's saying. It's like, look, everything you're doing is basically gay. Just admit it. And yeah, I honestly could care less. At least at right now, I could care less. Sorry. Yeah, I could care less, but it's just always it's just a funny thing. I think that's why I say it was funny. Where he's like, everything you're saying you're doing it's gay. Hey, that's what. Hey, it is what it is. Why not? Hold on. There's something else I wanted to. Oh, damn. There's another thing I wanted to react to, but I can't find the damn clip. All right, so let's move on. Yeah, that was just a funny thing. It's like everything you do is gay, so you're basically gay. Okay? All right. I don't remember.
I think Charlie Kirk could have asked a better question than this.
Thing is, I wouldn't have to do it. That would be great, but I would still want to do it. I mean, personally, like, I'm an exhibitionist. I love like putting myself out there for other people to see.
I ask you a question, since you're about presenting yourself to the world. Do you have a good relationship with your father?
Okay, here we go.
No, I don't talk to him.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I don't think
I love that. I'm not surprised. It's really funny. No, a lot of these OF whores and everything, you know, the one who's like fight so hard to stay on OF, most of the time they don't have a good relationship with their father. So it's a valid question. Now, if I was Charlie, I'd ask a very important question too. If you love it so much, would you do it for free? If they stopped monetizing you and you could no longer make any money doing your OF stuff, would you do it for free? And 99% of the time, they're going to say no. So they don't actually love it. They do it for the money. They love to make the money, but they don't do it because they enjoy it. They're doing it because, hey, it makes me a shit ton of money. Which, hey, I don't hate on you for that, but come on, let's be honest. But that was a really good question. And his delivery was great. He was just like, let me ask you a question. Do you have a good relationship with your father? No, I don't. Makes sense. If I could just stand watching the whatever, like the only time I watch whatever now is when Andrew Wilson is on. But I just can't stand watching it. Not that I have anything against Brian and his team or anything, but like there's two things that really bother me on the whatever. It's that talk to text. Whenever, like every single time, I swear to God, whenever someone's getting really into a good, deep conversation and making a really nice point, but they're taking a bit of time, they always get interrupted in the middle with that stupid talk to text. Like, it's so dumb. And then two, the second problem I have with whatever is Brian doesn't have a spine. Like, I was watching just the last one that Andrew Wilson was on, and this chick wouldn't, like, the rules were, you know, the rules are, if you've ever watched it, you know, you give your age and all that shit, and this woman refused to do it. Should have been kicked out. You're not following the rules. The rules are you got to give your age. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. You don't have to be here. Bye. And then whenever any chick rage quits or tries to leave, he always begs them to come back on. No, wait, come on, it's fine. Just let them leave. If they want to rage quit, fine, cool, peace. And then he claims like, oh, I just want to troll him for a bit. It's like, yeah, cool, that's fun. But then you still look like a pussy for bringing him back on. That's my opinion. I'm only saying this because, well, I'm saying that because it's true. And, you know, look, let's be honest. The odds of me getting on whatever is very, very slim. And it's not a big deal to me. I'd like to go on and talk to, you know, some of these women as well. I think anyone would. Also, obviously, for the clout to get more people to my channel and everything, of course. Why wouldn't I? But, you know, the odds of me getting on whatever in any time future is rare. And even so, I still you know, I still have the problems with it regardless. But, you know, hey, I can't hate too much because, you know, he's doing better than me. Way better than me. So, but those are my big issues. Honestly, if whatever could get rid of those two big issues, like either set talk to text higher and then Brian grow a bit of spine with these women. Like, I'm not talking about like being like full on Myron Gaines and, you know, Shannon, but like, you know, when they disrespect his show, disrespect him, you know, kick him the fuck off. Like, you don't need these women. They're going to come regardless. Like, and I think if he grew a bit of a spine, his show would probably be a lot better and more tolerable to watch. But like the big one for me is that talk to text, because every single time someone's in the middle of a good point, that thing interrupts and it just destroys the flow and it irritates the ever living shit out of me. But that's my biggest, you know, gripe with whatever. And again, the only time I really watch a full show is when Andrew Wilson's on, and to be honest. The only time I watch it like on the whatever channel and not his own channel, The Crucible, is when he's live in studio. That's just me personally. And hey, still, shout out to Brian. He's doing great. Better than me. Shout out to him, bro. All right. I don't remember what this was about. Let me watch it.
Have noticed that most of the guests are mostly white males of 22 episodes.
Yeah,
that you've
let's
had.
get into that.
No, but you
Take a look over here, Peter. What do you see? A lot of whiteys. What's going on here? Oh, this really pisses me off. But
Well,
go
no,
ahead.
no,
Really pisses me off. People think it's the census or something. I mean, this has got to represent the actual pie chart of America. Who cares? It's just funny. You know, funny is the world that I live in. You're funny, I'm interested. You're not funny, I'm not interested.
Okay.
And I have no interest in gender or race or anything like that. But everyone else is kind of with their little calculating, is this the exact right mix? You know, I think that's, to me, it's anti-comedy.
I have no.
I don't remember why I selected this. Yeah. It's always you gotta have all the racists. All the racists need to be watching this or at the same time or blah blah or else it's not good or you're inherently bad. It's like, look, I just like why can't we go back to the days where we hire the people that did the best job, not the people that have the right skin tone? That's what we basically have changed to. It's instead of hiring the best person for the job, regardless of the skin color and regardless if 90% of my employees are gonna end up being white and only like 10% are black, but they're the best at the best at what they do. Instead of it being that, it's do you have the right skin color for me to hire? And that's bullshit. Like I don't care what color your skin is. All I care is can you do the goddamn job I'm hiring for you, and can you do it well? And that's all we should care about. And it's what Jerry Seinfeld is talking about. It's like it's you know, that's how we get with DEI or whatever it is now, the diversity whatever shit. Like I don't care about diversity. I don't care if I hire like 100 white employees and 1 black employee. If I hire you to do a job, it's because you're the best at what you do, or you have convinced me that you are worth a shot. If you can't do it, I don't care, and it's not, and I'm not going to hire you, and it's definitely not going to be because of your skin color. It's going to be probably because of your character, and that's what we need to go back to. We shouldn't be going back to, hey, what's up, legendary 3D gamer? Yeah, what do you want me to react to? It's gonna be an easy day. Sorry, I was in my studio, not my live chat. So yeah, and go ahead and ask your question. Anyways, back. Sorry. What was I saying? But yeah, I really do not care how much melanin is in your skin. Can you do the job that I hire you for? Cool. If you can't, then you're fired. Like that's what we need to go back to instead of this bullshit of you got to have the right skin color. That's why that's why the Marvel movies are going to shit. That's why a lot of video games are going to shit. We're focused on like promoting your own channel. I guess I don't really have anything. I don't have a channel really for you to self promote, but I guess if you really want to, that's fine with me. I don't care. But if what you want me to react to ends up being boring, I'll cut it instantly. I don't care, regardless. And it can't be excessively long. It can't be asking me to react to something that's 30 minutes. Like if it's a short 10-minute clip, I'll react to it, no problem. But if it's super long one, then I'm not going to react to it because I really, I don't have the attention span for that. But if it's a short clip, yeah, I'll react to it regardless. Moving on. Okay.
Guy who owned an AR-15.
If there's a good reason for it, yeah, sure.
Self-defense.
That is a wild gun for self-defense to own.
See, this is a problem with these. Let me finish.
Wait, why is that?
Why? Yeah.
Why is that?
Why would that be a wild gun for self-defense?
Well, I mean, it seems a little extreme compared to like a
I want to extremely defend myself if I have to.
Well, no, for like just like you could just get a.
Hang on. If I'm going to defend myself with a gun, the purpose of it is to terminate the other person. Correct? That's what I'm defending myself for. Why would I give a shit if I had too much of an advantage? Why would I care about that? Don't I want maximum advantage?
You date a guy who
It's the whole point of having a gun is to have the maximum advantage. Yes, I want that third round clip to defend myself 30 times if I need to, or just shoot one person 30 times. I have no idea. So you need a good reason for me to be okay with it. Fuck you. That's my reason. But also, the AR-15 is the best self-defense weapon in the country because it's very easy to use. You give a person who's never shot a gun, and they're able to operate that effectively. Like it's not a very hard gun to use. That's why it's the most widely used self-defense weapon. It's very popular. What else? She said something. Oh yeah, extreme. Hey, I don't care how extreme you think it is. I want to live, and I want my family to live. So I'm going to, as Andrew Wilson put it, extremely defend my life. No problem. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like it doesn't like. Why does it matter what degree I use my gun for self-defense? Like what size it is. It's for self-defense. My reasoning for having guns is because I want them, and yeah, so that's a pretty good reason for me. I want them. But at least she's better than one chick. One chick I saw on this, she's like, if 5 people broke into your house, would you want your boyfriend to have a gun? He's like, no, he could just fight them off. And it's like, really? Let me bring that clip up, actually. Like, it's like, it kind of shows how little a lot of women don't understand life. It's like, if you really think that this isn't John Wick, you can't fight 5 people off at the same time. Like, it's not possible. Here it is.
Wait, so you would not want to date a guy who owns a firearm when you have kids?
Yeah, that's correct.
Let me ask you a question.
That's
Hypothetical scenario. You have 2 kids, young babies. You're married to a nice gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Home invasion. 3 men break into the house. What do you do?
Run away.
You don't have a firearm, by the way.
Right, I would call 911.
Okay. And so they're going to be there in 10 minutes. So in that 10-minute period of time, what are they going to do?
I don't know. It would just depend on the situation. I think like the flight or fight response would kick in, and
Okay.
I would do everything to protect my family. But I just think,
How about
You're-
with the
general,
gun?
like guns tend to escalate situations, and I
Well, if they're
Wait,
breaking
guns
into my
escalate
house, I want to
situations.
escalate.
I mean, it's already pretty escalated because 3 strange men have just broken into your house. And
yeah, it is already escalated. Obviously,
so
it's
the
a
gun would make it
break-in.
worse, is what you're saying.
I think so. Then if my partner were to pull out a gun and then like they pull out a gun and like then it's just a showdown.
But
like,
what if their intention is to harm you?
Like I said,
or
like I
your
would do
kids?
everything to protect my family. I just
But
would
there's
not
3
feel
men.
comfortable with
There's
a gun in the house.
But okay, there's 3 men. They could be armed. You don't know.
Right.
It's you, so it's 2 children, 2 babies versus a woman and your husband, right? Or whatever.
Mm.
The odds aren't looking good. In that scenario, would you want a gun? Would you want either you or your husband, whatever, partner to have a gun in that scenario?
I mean, like I said, no. Like I would feel honestly less safe with a gun in the house, knowing like all the chances of like accidents and
Accidents
just,
are very,
yeah, like the
very
potential
rare.
to
This chick
escalate a
doesn't know what she's
situation or
talking
for
about.
something, for like it to go off like
It doesn't. Guns
hastily or
don't
harm
go
somebody
off.
or anything like that. So
Fuck this thing is.
But okay,
Yeah.
even in the home invasion scenario, you still wouldn't want to have a gun? In that scenario.
In the specific scenario
Yeah.
where there's a home invasion.
Yes.
Yeah.
You would not want to have a gun in that situation.
I don't know. I mean, I can't say what I would be feeling like in that moment if
I can tell you. I can tell you exactly what she'd be feeling. Here's what she's feeling. Fuck. I wish my husband has a gun right now so he can defend me and prevent me from getting raped. That's exactly how she's going to be feeling. Come on.
somebody was coming for me and my family, but there's no situation in which I would like want to have a gun in my house.
There's no situation.
Well, if someone comes and breaks in and tries to grape you, it's actively trying to grape you, and you are unable to leave because you are cornered, there's a gun on the bed. Or you have an option. One scenario, gun on the bed or gun right next to you or gun in your hands. Second scenario, no gun. Which do you want?
Situation where you'd ever want a gun in your house.
If
Even
I
the
can avoid it-
situation.
no, I think it's a larger issue of like, I don't want to get like super political with this, but like gun control in general. Like if guns are less accessible to everybody, then like
That's bullshit.
I could feel safer knowing that like the people breaking into my home wouldn't necessarily have a gun.
Yeah, just because they don't have a gun, there's several of them, only one of you, maybe two. And you know, if we're talking about that scenario, there's only one of you or the other woman's a chick, and there's 5 bad guys coming in to beat the shit out of you. And you're like, you're gonna lose, you're gonna die, you're gonna get hurt.
And so then
Let
I
me
wouldn't
ask you. Well,
necessarily.
let me just make a point on that. So,
Okay.
All right. Well, if Legendary 3D Gamer if you
Is
want to
breaking
send it
into
to
a home
me, I'll
illegal?
look and I'll decide whether I'll watch it or not.
would owning a gun,
This one's 10
even
minutes.
if guns
I
were
might
banned,
list
would that be illegal?
release.
Let's say guns were banned, right?
Mm.
Let me ask a different question. Is cocaine illegal?
Okay. Well, now it's just getting into the weeds. But yeah, okay. Here's the other one I really wanted to show you. Same kind of basic scenario, but
Said you prefer a guy who does self-defense using other methods. Are we talking like with his
Oh,
fists?
not like that. I just mean like I think a gun is a bit extreme. Like if like
Yes.
because most people would argue like for a legally obtained firearm in like a circumstance of self-defense. Like if someone breaks into your home, like most people would argue for that. I'm just saying like I personally would prefer a different. I don't know. Like,
Let's say you find a great guy.
this great
Question
guy.
is,
I'm like,
do
where
you-
is he?
He's coming.
he's avoiding the shit out of you. That's where he is because you're an idiot.
You find a great guy.
Mhm.
He wants to marry you. You
Okay.
guys get married. Would you prefer he defends you against home invaders
All right, man, you
with a
gotta send it
gun
to
or
me.
with his fists?
Or let me know what it is.
It would depend on what the home invader has in his hand.
You can't decide that.
I don't
Like
think
that is
so.
not up to you.
You never know.
Or if
You
there's
never
more
know.
than one? If there's more than one.
There's 5 home invaders. All of them don't have weapons. They're ready to throw down with their fists against your husband. Would you prefer he has his hands or a gun?
Hands.
You don't want. He's
I
gonna
don't
get
want
the
them
shit-
dying
he's
if
gonna
they're.
get-
Fuck them. They are coming in to do you harm. Like, fuck them. Like, see, this is my problem with a lot of these chicks. They don't understand the actual, like, and these are the same chicks that'll say, like, oh, well, I don't feel safe walking in at night because someone might assault me. Okay. You know what would make you really feel safe? If you had a gun and you knew how to fucking use it. That'd make you super safe.
get the
Just
shit
coming into
kicked
my
out of him.
house.
They're not coming into your house. They're breaking in to do you harm.
What if after they kill him, they want to you? Wouldn't you want him to have a gun in that instance?
Whoa! I didn't know. I didn't think they were gonna kill him.
Well, I mean, they're home invaders. If he's gonna
That
fight
doesn't.
them,
Just because you invade someone's home doesn't mean you're gonna kill them.
So let me get this.
Dumb chick. You're with a chick like that, run away, guys. Like, don't even deal with this chick. Like, there's no way. Like, fuck her.
My wife's expectation. I don't know.
My wife's expectation? My
Yes.
wife's expectation was to give me children, take good care of my children, and to obey. That's the expectation.
Okay, well, I would obey my partner
No,
for
you
sure. The children part, I'm not looking to have children anytime soon.
But when you say obey, what do you mean by that?
She has no idea.
Like to be respectful and to be submissive to your man.
that's respect and submission is different than obey.
What do you What's your mean by definition?
Well,
obey?
obedience is when I say to do something, you do it. And if I make a decision that you disagree with, ultimately I have the final say, and you don't have one.
Oh, that your wife has to abide by that?
Yeah.
Why
doesn't she have a final say?
Why would she?
Well, does she not offer anything to you that would
Sure,
allow
but if
her to
it's
have
but
an
it's up to
opinion
my
on
choosing
something?
whether or not I intake that and agree with it or disagree with it. But ultimately, if I disagree,
Oops.
I don't know how this works.
Not surprised.
What is your wife's expectation? I don't know.
my wife's expectation, my
Yes.
wife's expectation was to give me children, take good care of my children, and to obey. That's
My
the
expectation for my
expectation.
wife.
Well, I would obey my partner for
Oh, you
sure.
wouldn't.
The children part, I'm not looking to have children anytime soon.
But when you say obey, what do you mean by that?
Like to be respectful and to be submissive to your man.
That's respect and submission is different than obey.
What do you
What's your
mean by
definition?
Well,
obey?
obeyance is when I say to do something, you do it. And if I make a decision that you disagree with, ultimately I have the final say, and you don't have one.
Oh, that your wife has to abide by that?
Yeah.
Why doesn't she have a final say?
Why would she?
Well, does she not offer anything to you that would
Sure,
allow
but
her
if
to
it's
have
but
an
it's up to
opinion
my
on
choosing
something?
whether or not I intake that and agree with it or disagree with it. But ultimately, if I disagree with it, it's my decision.
So you're the one with the gavel.
A gavel? The judge? No. It's in a Christian marriage, man's the head of the household.
Okay. What is your wife's expectation? I don't know.
Marriage it works too. Yeah, like a lot of these women have a problem with like obeying their husband, but they'll go and do a job. They'll obey their boss. They'll there's not they'll do all that, but the man that they love, the person that they love, the person they trust the most because they spend the most time with them and expect them to protect them, they want to obey them. Like, did you see how incredulous she was? And she's like, "Oh, I would obey." No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't be respectful. She wouldn't be submissive. FYI, I watched this clip. I watched this video. She's a chick that thinks that she needs like $10,000 a month for fun things to do. No, she's not the type of woman that's going to obey or submit. She's going to be the type of woman that's going to drain you of your resources. Stay away from her. She's not a good bet. But ladies, you want a man that's good to you and a good man, you're going to have to obey him. The reason we have the final say, or we believe we have the final say, is because we live a much different life and we have better experiences than you are. Better, I just mean it's harder, life's harder, and it's caused us to have more experience and some understanding. And the reason you should obey is because you love and trust the man you're with. If you don't love and trust him, then why the fuck are you with him? Okay? Why are you with him if you don't love and trust him enough to just relinquish control? And besides, most women want that. They want to be led. They don't want to have to decide it. Every time I ask my wife to make a decision, done it a couple times, sometimes as a test, sometimes because I just don't want to decide anything. I don't care. It's nothing. It's I don't know. Okay? It's always I don't know. And these decisions are generally like innocuous, I don't really care about kind of decisions. But every time I've asked her, like, to make a decision, it's I don't know. With me, it's like, all right, we're doing this. Boom. I think for the most part, yes, males are superior to women because we have to be. Because no woman wants a man that they are better than. Okay, there are a lot of things that women are better than men with. There are a lot of things that women are better at than men. But for the most part, men are better than women because they have to be. Not because, they just are. They're just born to it. I mean, there are parts where they are born it, like, physically. But it's because they have to be because that's the woman nature. They want a guy that's better than them. It's what they want. So, yes, generally, males are better than women just based on the necessity of that's what women want. All right, moving on. And if she's not with a guy that's better than her, she's an idiot. Why do you want someone on your level or less than you? All right. I don't know what this one's about.
Honestly,
Of course.
truthfully. Okay. Do you think that woman is disgusting and like degenerate in that video when you watch it?
Yeah.
So why do you watch it?
Yeah, you're
Well,
sinning.
I mean,
Life is sexist, my friend. And yes, one gender is better than the other. You want to know how I know? One, men are physically stronger than women. So they're better than that. Men are more capable of working longer hours, harder jobs, making more money. Most women want to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife. That's what most women want. Men, we work our asses off because that's what we desire, because that's what makes women more attracted to us. So look, you can say that's sexist, but life is sexist. And yes, men are better than women at most things.
At least you could
in
be
some
honest.
regard,
At
hang
least
on,
you could
stop,
say.
stop. Let me answer the question. Right?
Mhm.
I'm not above myself being a person who has been prone to sin. The point of Christianity is not perfection, not to say that you're a perfect person. It's to always be moving towards theosis, being better. For you to say that there's no identification distinction between us because you say you have watched. Yes, that's true. But you are a star who advocates for it right this second. So your argument is so absurd. It's like saying a person who was a cocaine addict can't tell people it's bad to do cocaine. Do you understand how absurd that is?
Have you ever watched?
It makes a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, just because I watched it doesn't make my point any less valid. And FYI, in this clip right here, in the same like sentence, Andrew also says he finds the man disgusting. So he's being a very equal opportunity. I'm disgusted by ist.
I don't think you can be sexist towards men, and I don't think you can be racist towards white people.
How have you arrived at that conclusion?
Let me tell you. I don't remember watching this, but let me tell you how she arrived at this conclusion. My professor told me, or someone superior to me told me that. Like that's what her thinking process is more than likely going to line up to. This chick's on live TV wearing a fucking collar. Okay.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Oh, there we
Just
go.
hearing like all the stories about like all this messed up stuff they did in the past. Like I'm not even black, but I have a grudge against them.
Are you referring to slavery?
Yeah, and just like the treatment of them over time since then,
dumbest
like all
thing
the
ever.
discrimination.
Yes, there was slavery. Guess what? White people were slaves too. And you know who also enslaved black people? Other black people. Like, this is the dumbest argument. Can't be racist against white people because, you know, their white ancestors committed slavery. Well, they're black, you know, black people's ancestors committed slavery as well. How do you think we got most of our slaves from Africa? From African slave traders. Okay? Like, what is this? This is the dumbest argument ever. And it's always like, oh, you can't be racist against white people. Well, if you're discriminating and being prejudiced against someone just solely due to their skin color, it's racism right there.
Do you think that white people were the only ones who engaged in slavery?
So wait, are you trying to like say that like white people were slaves too?
Yeah, white people were also slaves.
That's where the term slave.
How do you think you know, Europeans got shit done prior to traveling to Africa? And even after they traveled to Africa, there were still white slaves. Even while there was black slaves.
It comes from is the Slavic region.
Exactly.
Eastern Europeans are so oppressed even within Europe.
I don't know, but I didn't see them oppressed over here that much. Like,
Interesting. It's kind of like you're indoctrinated to think one way.
I don't know. In history, I don't see books talking about the oppression of white people.
Yeah, that's
Why do you think
that's
that
a problem.
is? I don't.
Yeah, it's called you were indoctrinated because you went to a school that indoctrinated you. Like all schools. I didn't think that for the longest time. Then I grew up, had a job, started thinking for myself. I was like, hey, this is odd. Let's not do this. This is weird. Oh, this is a funny one. This is why Canada sucks. I'm French Canadian. I can say that. At least part. I grew up in America, but I'm part French Canadian. So I can say Canada sucks. This is their way of dealing with home invasions.
Prevents the possibility of being attacked in your home. Leave your fobs at your front door because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else. A lot of them that they're arresting have guns on them, and they're not toy guns. They're real guns. They're low to prevent the possibility of being attacked in your home. Leave your fob.
Wait, hold on. Canada's basically outlawed guns to the highest degree, but the criminals still have guns? Oh my God, who could have predicted this? Now, in all fairness, I don't know when this was said, but
Fobs at your front door because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else. A lot of them that they're arresting have guns on them, and they're not toy guns. They're real guns. They're low to prevent the possibility of being attacked in your
send it to
home.
me.
Leave your fobs at your front door because they're breaking in.
This is a ridiculous assertion. Leave your fobs at your front door so that you can avoid getting a home invasion. The dumbest fucking shit ever. Like, what? To keep yourself safe from a home invasion, leave your fob so they can see your car instead. All right, well, that's still going to cost me a buttload of money. How about I just meet them at the front door with a fucking baseball bat and break their skull in? Like, what the hell is this? This is Toronto, people. This is why Canada sucks. All right, this is the same Canada that the Prime Minister says you don't have a right to self-defense. Fuck you. Oh, this guy's legendary.
While you're in bed on Zoom. Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am. No, that doesn't answer my question. My question is, why are you in bed on Zoom? I was just waiting to be let into the courtroom, and then I was going to go sit down in my dining room, ma'am. No, you were not, because you were all relaxed when I asked you who you were, and you were just chilling on the bed.
Okay, why does it matter? I was chilling on the bed. There was a dude in a court who was vaping and was driving while on Zoom. Dude's in his bed. Okay, are we not allowed to be comfortable when we're dealing with you, Judge?
Here's the thing. You have a privilege for appearing on Zoom. You are not to be in bed. This is not, romper room time or anything of that nature.
Well, I'm on Zoom. I'm in my house. I'm going to be comfy. Like, what is, stop being a fucking cunt. Who cares if he's in bed? Who cares? Okay. If you really have an issue with this, you probably should require them to be in court.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you in Bexar County?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so try that again and your Zoom privileges will be permanently revoked. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're waiting for your attorney. I'm going to put you in the waiting room. Mr. Ash.
So you did all this, but you're still waiting for your attorney. For all I know, this clip was all of a sudden, boom, it was finally let in. And then he was like, oh shit, you probably didn't get any warning. This giant cunt of a woman decided, hey, there's going to be a giant, This is what I have with a lot of judges. Is they feel so powerful in their little chambers because no one can say anything because they're the ultimate authority in their chamber at that time. That like who cares if he's in his bed? Who cares? Like, does it hurt you? Does it harm anything? Does it do anything negative? Okay, I don't get this. And then you do all that, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're waiting for your attorney. So you didn't have to do any of that in the first place. Okay. I don't remember watching this. I don't think I've watched this, so I have no idea. There's apparently Chris Cuomo and Candace Owens versus each other. I did do a reaction video to Chris Cuomo and Tucker Carlson's interview. That was a really good interview. It wasn't two adversaries going against each other. It was two colleagues having a conversation, which was really interesting to watch. It was really good. I highly recommend you check out that episode.
Gave.
Oh, stop it.
Listen,
Stop
I'm not
it.
here to play Russia good, Russia bad, okay?
Russia has a
If-
smaller GDP than California. He's
So
not,
what?
it's
So what? They're
you're-
also
you're
invading a
relying
country
on a
right now
belief
just for
that
avarice.
Americans are economically
Look,
so
what I-
unintelligible that they are going to believe
What I'm
that
saying
the threat
is-
that we are facing today is Russia trying to reestablish. So this is like Cold War propaganda. We got to move on from that. Okay,
But it's just as real
this isn't-
now
this
as it
isn't
was
the
then.
1960s.
And remember, in America, these people are allowed to be here right now doing things they could never do in Russia. Never. That's what he gave.
Oh, stop it.
Listen,
Like, so I really don't care about the Ukraine war because I don't see any advantages we get. I don't see what we gain for defending Ukraine. We have our own issues we need to be taken care of. But we don't have an agreement, as far as I know, prior to this with Ukraine. What do we gain? Okay, are we defending them just because we like freedom and shit? Is that why we're defending them? Because that's what it basically seems to me, is we're defending Ukraine because we like freedom. And it's like, all right, cool, but we're not the world police. We shouldn't be trying to police other people's state. There's a plenty of other people, other, NATO and stuff. And yes, I understand we're part of NATO and all that shit. But, there's other surrounding countries closer to Ukraine that can do far more than we can. So why are we sending a bunch of money to them and then they're still losing the war? Doesn't make sense to me. But I don't know why I picked this to react. There wasn't really anything. It probably was during the height of this. So why should we be helping people when we don't benefit it? There's no benefit to us helping Ukraine except helping people. Yeah, well, we try to help people in Afghanistan. Look where that got us. Okay, everywhere we have. That's not gaining anything. That's just we feel good about ourselves. Gaining something, I mean, is like, for example, if we went into Iraq or Afghanistan, whatever, and when we invaded the country and we we liberated them, if we got an agreement and got a portion of their oil and shit, that would be a gain we would get. Okay, helping people's not a gain. That's just it makes us feel good. Okay, I'm talking about like a material gain we get. What is the point of us invading? We need to make our money back for investing in them. For example, if Ukraine had oil or something, all right, we will assist you in this invasion, but you need to give us a portion of your oil until you got to give us 10% of your oil to both pay back. No, I don't care. I don't care about places where we have no business being dying. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? Does it suck people are dying? Yes. But we have issues of our own here in the country where people are dying. Okay. I would rather take care of that first than going over to a country we have no business being in. Okay. This is how we got stuck in the Iraq war for. Yeah, it may not be. Actually, it's extremely important in life. It's how you fucking live. Okay. Legendary 3 gamer. I'm having a discussion with that actually. So he says helping people, that's what you gain. You don't need to gain anything to just help people. And right now I can tell you don't care about people dying. Money isn't important in life. It is important in life. That's how you live. That's why we do everything in our life is for money. That's why men we break our backs to provide a life for our family. Okay, for money, which allows us to provide for our family. Money is very important in life. It's actually extremely important. It's how you live. So, no, you're wrong. But again, I don't care about a country I've never been to that we gain nothing from for helping them. We're sending billions of dollars. How do you think we're going to gain that money back? Are we just going to continue sending money and going into debt? We need to a return in our investment. Right now, we're investing in Ukraine. What is our return for that investment? And it can't be just, I'm helping people. That's some bullshit. I'm doing it to make myself feel good. I don't care about making myself feel good. I care about us being prosperous. And then when we're prosperous, if we want to do some humanitarian stuff, let's do that. But we're not prosperous. We got shit going down here. We got an invasion of illegal immigrants. Yeah, that's because you're a socialist loser or a communist loser. I don't care. Everything wasn't free. You can wish, I wish everything was free. Everything isn't free. Yeah, but life and love is more important. But to be honest, I hate money being a thing. And as I wish everything was free. Okay, go live in a commune where you barter and trade. All right. Money or go move somewhere else where money isn't that important. But money is always important. It's how you gain life. It's how you sustain your life. And I agree, life and love is more important. But how do you provide for that life and provide for that love? Money. So it goes back. Money is very important. But again, we're investing in the Ukraine. And what are we gaining from that investment? What is our return? Nothing. Now, again, if we invested all this money and Ukraine had like a resource that, like, for example, like Taiwan. All right, if China invaded Taiwan and we sent money to help defend them, our investment should be, all right, cool. We own a portion of your chip manufacturing, and so we can get the profits back to pay back to get dividends from our investment. That's how all business works. You invest, you get dividends. All right, you get your money back and then some. And if you're smart, you continue to get money after you invest. That's how all this works. All right, what is this?
To protect you because she loves you.
I mean, that's not her choice to make, is it?
No, it's not her choice, but
Isn't that nice of her to do a convenient lie to protect me from her past? That's awful convenient, isn't it? How nice of her to lie about her past to protect me. That doesn't sound a little absurd to you?
so you prefer your women to never have like a
No,
sexual
no.
past?
Answer my question before you ask another one. Doesn't it sound a little bit convenient to say that she's hiding her past to protect me from it?
Maybe because she loves you. She wanted to also like appease him, maybe, and she was like, "I'm going to lie about this situation."
Well, that would be
'cause I know
her
he wouldn't."
protecting herself, not
Okay,
you.
maybe.
How
yes,
would
you're
it be
right.
protecting you?
Okay, I get that.
How? How would it be protecting the?
Not
the
protecting
generic
you.
rebel
Maybe she's
gamer
protecting
left?
yourself because
Bye.
you're a great guy.
Yeah.
and trying
Sorry.
to be with you.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay,
like my
maybe
views.
I understand that. Yes.
You never
Maybe
did
she
send
lied to
that clip,
protect
by
you
the
because
way.
She loves you.
I was
I
going to
mean,
react
that's
to
not
it.
her choice to make, is it?
No, it's not her choice.
Yeah. So yeah, so the conversation was, her lying about her body count or whatever. But that's the point. Like the lie isn't to protect me. The lie is to protect her from me not giving her a chance or dumping her once I find out. That's the same reason men lie about wanting to sleep with other women all the time. We lie, or why they lie to cheat. It's not to protect a woman. It's to protect ourselves from the woman leaving us. Okay. So that's why men lie. It's the same reason why women lie. They're not lying to protect us. All right. They're lying to protect themselves. Same reason why men lie. Like it said, oh, well, she really loved you, so she lied. Very convenient, as Andrew says. It's very convenient that your lies to protect you from me, not being screwed over by you in the future.
But don't guys also treat women differently? Like there's women that like you sleep with, like that are casual, and then there's a girl that you take seriously.
Here's an analogy, right? These women, they were just for hookups. So of course I bought them expensive stuff and I took them to the best dining places and I even paid their bills. But you're different from them. I see you as a potential girlfriend, wife. So you have to wait for those benefits. So let's go to McDonald's, and you're paying, by the way. We'll go 50-50. But those casual hookups, no. I took them on vacations. I did XYZ. I did all these nice things for them. They weren't serious though, but because you're my potential girlfriend, potential wife, we have to wait for those benefits.
Okay, but
So what he's making the analogy of is, women always say, they'll sleep, like this is what they'll make the guy they really like wait for, 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever, to have sex. But they'll hook up with the guy that they don't really like, but are sexually aroused by instantly. Like, they'll hook up, same night or very quickly. So the analogy is like, oh, that's why Brian makes the analogy to the other side, because, as men, we go for sex. For women, that's where we get, that's what we get from dating a woman is sex. What women get from dating us is the resources, provisioning, the experience that they all desire or most desire. So, obviously the analogy is, all right, well, I hold off my resource and my provisioning, which you like. I hold that off because I see potential in you, but I give it away for these chicks that hook up with me. The logic doesn't make logic. And you can see her brain melt the second you started talking about that. She's like, oh shit, that doesn't make any sense. Why would he do that? Blah, 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 blah. And so that's actually, good on Brian. That's a good analogy from Brian. I haven't seen Fresh and Fit make any of that analogy. And I'm a bigger fan of Fresh and Fit than whatever, but I got to give the W to Brian in this analogy because that was a really good one. So let's see. What is Fresh and Fit's general analogy for that? Oh, no. Yeah, I don't think they made one for this particular case. So that was a good one. Good on you, Brian. Shout out to you, brother. And even though I don't like, the two things of your show, I still would like to come on. But that's just me grifting because, I benefit. You wouldn't benefit from me coming on. Maybe some of my wisdom, but that's about it. You wouldn't really. I would benefit far more than you would.
Men and women equal.
Actually, women are better than men. What do men bring to the world? Literally nothing. Women.
What do men bring to the world? Everything. Okay. Everything you have in this world is because of men.
And the vibes, just
Now, I remember this, and hold on.
everything.
Everything you know and love. If you look around the entire infrastructure of our nation, our economy, every building you walk into, the way that you are portraying your ideas and opinions is through technology and infrastructure and an economy and a nation that was not only built, but it's
You notice
still
how he's fairly respectful to her, and she's just a giant cunt. You notice that? It's because it's the different. That's the biggest difference between men and women. We're respectful. People don't know. Women aren't generally, because like we're respectful of the person we're adversarial against. Women generally aren't, because women don't generally have to face the constant consequence of physical violence. And there's when with men, like if we acted like that to a dude, there's a chance we'll get punched in the face for it. Okay, if we act, that's how it works. That's why men are generally more respectful to someone that they're adversarial with than women are.
maintained to this day by men.
Did men allow you to have that haircut?
You taking personal attacks makes me seem like the more intelligent.
Okay, I understand.
Validate your point, not some personal attack because
Okay, I
you're losing
understand.
the argument. Feminism stops whenever it's inconvenient for y'all. By definition, you are delusional if you cannot defend your ideas.
You should go.
I actually don't go to
He runs away.
Are men and women equal?
Shout out to that guy. He really held it down. He didn't stoop down. But that's also a general. He's got a good point there too, because whenever you're arguing with someone, whether it's on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, showing my age there, when the person losing the argument starts personally insulting you, that's when you know you've won, because they don't have an argument. Because if you have a good argument, then you don't stoop to personal attacks. And it was hilarious. But this guy's right. Everything women have is built by men. I'll take it. Yeah. And yeah, built and maintained by men. And that includes everything, like their rights and everything. It's because of men, women have these rights. I wish Legendary 3D Gamer was still here. He's not. I wish he still was here, because then you could hear my further viewings on this. But if all the men switched up and decided, you know what, women, you don't have any rights anymore. We revoke your rights. We're going to, make it so you don't have any rights. What could women do to stop that from happening? They couldn't do anything, because men, as men, we are in the enforcement arm of the laws and of your rights. So we enforce the right to not have your rights taken away. So if someone tries to deprive you of your rights, we, the men, generally are the enforcement arm of that. But if all men decide, hey, women, you don't have any rights, what could women really do? Not much. Anything, if anything. Okay? Now, change the scenario. If women were to decide, men, you don't have any rights, what could we do? Everything. Okay? We would physically overpower them. We could, there's more men in Congress than anything, so we could legally overpower them. And it's only because of men that women even have the right to vote. It's only because of men. How do you know this, Ghost? The fact that, most women didn't want the right to vote. Like, what is this shit? Most women didn't want the right to vote, but it was because of weak-willed men that decided, we're going to give you the right to vote. It's the only reason why women have the right to vote. And maybe this is your first time watching me, like a Legendary 3D Gamer. I do love women. I really do. I swear. I swear, I really love women. I have a wife. I have 2 daughters. I've loved women so much, I made 2. Okay, so I don't have any hatred towards women, but I just understand the differences between us, and I acknowledge that. Simple as that. Okay, I don't remember this.
Trump and his lawyers forget, I think, is that
they ain't president yet, right?
Oh.
So if the Supreme Court says that the presidents have this, complete immunity from prosecution and whatever, what's to stop, I don't know, the actual president, Joe Biden, from launching a preemptive strike on a rebel stronghold at Mar-a-Lago to engineer regime change? What's to stop Biden from doing that, right? Like, I don't think Trump has thought this through. But for the record, as Andrew was saying, I do not think that Biden has the power to launch a strike against his political rival, right? I think it would violate posse comitatus and, murder laws, right? And so I think that Biden, if he did that, would be prosecuted. Trump doesn't seem to understand, and the people who support Trump don't seem to understand, that the powers he calls onto himself then must be given to every single other president. And the thing that...
No, we understand that completely. Here's the thing that this guy doesn't understand is Biden does have that power. Could do that instantly. Now, we'll have to suspend reality and suspend, suspend reality and all right, all the lower people are going to be like, yeah, we'll do this. But let's say Biden already did do that. All right, he managed to do it. He would, at the time, be immune from prosecution. Absolutely. Now, what do we have in place to remove that immunity? Let me think. Oh, it's called impeachment. So, all the Congress would get together, they'd impeach him, the Senate would get together, they'd impeach him. After that, his immunity would be stripped and he could be prosecuted. There we go. Boom, immunity gone. Okay, you have immunity, but there is a way to remove said immunity. We understand that by granting this immunity, it would give everyone else the ability to have that immunity and do these things. We understand that. Most people understand that. It's the leftists that don't understand that if you kick Trump off the ballot in a state, all right, then guess what? Other states can kick the other person off the ballot. That's why that was denied. Okay? So you understand that we understand that giving, that ruling in Trump's favor would mean that Biden gets this ruling too and all previous presidents too. Absolutely. I understand that. And I think it should. There's no issue here. Trump has immunity while president for presidential actions, even in the broadest sense. Same way he has civil immunity. That's why this Eugene Carroll case should be dismissed, or should have been dismissed. It's the same way cops have qualified immunity. You can get that removed if you're able to prove, there's a way to remove qualified immunity. I don't think immunity is you can get, you can get it, all that stuff, you could be prevented from being prosecuted, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a way to remove that. Even if you have an immunity agreement, if you lie, you lose that immunity agreement. All right. If you commit an act that you have an immunity agreement on, if you're president and you get impeached, you lose that immunity. Simple. Boom. People they're like, oh, these people don't understand. No, we understand completely. You're the one who doesn't understand.
Say that a girl has OnlyFans and they meet a guy that is very established and makes a lot of money and who is very confident in himself. Do you think that man will still care that his woman does what she does to make her money if he has his own life built?
Yeah.
He's absolutely going to care even more so, because now his reputation is going to be tarnished by being with a girl that does that type of work.
Would you, another question, if you met a girl that does OnlyFans and you make the money that you do and she was willing to change her life for you and say, I'm willing to drop everything that I do, OnlyFans, including and everything, as long as you can take care of me and I can submit to my feminine role, would you take a woman like that?
No.
Because of her history. And say that.
See, this is the problem with a lot of these women. They don't understand that reputation for men matters to us. It matters a lot to us. Why does it matter? Because our reputation helps pretty much define everything for us. Okay, if we have a good reputation, we're a good person to do business with. We're a good person to trust. Okay, trust is very important in the men world. There's a reason it's called I'm a man of my word. All right, we've lost that nowadays, but doesn't negate the fact. Okay, we Our reputation, our trust, all that, it's very important in the world of men. A lot of business deals, high-end business deals, are done generally due to the fact of a good reputation from the man we're dealing with. If, for whatever reason, you're with a woman, or if for whatever reason you're with a woman and she has a bad reputation, that reflects poorly on us as the man. It just does. Because, like, all right, if you can make a shitty assessment in your love life, why the fuck should I trust you to be able to make a good assessment in a life that, you know, affects you, but not as much as your personal life? Like, that's how men think. And these OF whores don't understand that at all. They think I can do whatever I want and I don't have to worry about consequences. And in all honesty, it's not their fault, because for the longest time, we've never made women feel the consequences of their actions. That's a big issue with us today. And it's unfortunate, but, you know, a lot of women, you know, they can go around life consequence free. We don't allow women the opportunity to feel the consequences of their actions. Sucks, but it is what it is. And that's why they don't understand this concept, is if you do something, odds are it's going to eliminate you from most men that they want. They don't understand that, and they try to wiggle room around it. Well, what if I quit my whole lifestyle? All right, that's cool. But there's that issue of everything prior to, you know, there's that issue of your past, and your past will come back and bite you.
Rating these sisters in Christ for gotchas is so weak. Well, I'll tell you what I need. What I need is for people who aren't complete weaklings to actually engage with the degens. That's what I need. What I don't need is these weak-willed, right, weaklings to come on and try to represent us in probably the worst time that I've ever seen for degeneracy ever. Because they're concerned about all the same activities they themselves have done, concerned about hearing it again. Like we don't know that degenerates are going to be degenerates. So you know what? You can take that super chat and you can shove it up your ass, because I'm right. And we all know I'm right. Berate.
So the point of that was, you know, he was berating these two chicks here because they're former whores that turned to Christ and all that. And the degenerates on the panel were talking, they were talking sex stuff, and they were like, oh, my ears, oh, my stars, oh, clutch my pearls, I don't want to hear this, blah, 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 while also forcing these chicks to listen to their religion stuff. I think they were wrong a lot of the times too. And Andrew's just simply pointing out, is like, look, if you're going to go in these spaces and try to preach the word, you're going to have to deal with some degenerate stuff, because degens are going to be degens. Dude has a point. This is why I'm becoming a big, huge fan of Andrew Wilson. I'd love for, you know, to him be on my channel and have a conversation. I probably could get him on. He's very, you know, he's like that. But I don't know what we'll talk about yet. So I'd have to figure that out before I even offer for him to come on. You know, have a talk. Maybe we'll talk about fatherhood or something like that. That'd be interesting. But yeah, that's basically the point. Is if you're going to come down in the trenches with me, you're going to have to be willing to get dirty so we can, you know, preach the good word. And honestly, if a lot more Christians were like this, I think there'd be a lot, like Andrew Wilson, I think there'd be a lot more people who want to be Christian. And I don't think anyone could disagree with me there. I've always found Christianity the weaker religion until I started watching Andrew Wilson, because he doesn't make it feel like a weak religion. So, you know, shout out to Andrew Wilson. Dude's the man. Oh, you're a fan of Friends. I know exactly what this is.
Why don't you just pay for it yourself? How? I don't have any money.
I have some.
How much? Wow! Are you kidding me? What? How much is it? It's enough for wedding scenario A. How great are you little saver? The amount you have is exactly the budget of my dream wedding.
Well, you're not suggesting that we spend all of the money on the wedding.
Yeah.
Come on, I've been saving this money for 6 years, and I kind of had some of it earmarked for the future, not just for a party.
If you call our wedding a party one more time, you may not get invited. We can always earn more money.
I understand, but I have to put my foot down, okay? The answer is no.
I don't know how this ended up going out, but I will say this, and I've said this a lot of times. If you're with a woman and she cares more about the party, and that's what a wedding was, is a party for her, than she does about being a wife, just run away from her. And that's what Monica is doing in this scenario. She cares more about the party than the future. Like, I don't know. Maybe money towards, a house, IVF, because she apparently, one of them is infertile at one point, I think. Let me see how this episode ended. I haven't really watched Friends. It was a very boring TV show for me. I know, controversial. Did she end up? God damn it. I'm just trying to see if he ended up spending all that money on her. Oh my God. I can't seem to find this very easily. Yeah, okay. So I guess according to the AI that Chandler did pay for the wedding using his savings. I don't know if that's true. I have not watched Friends. I don't know this episode, but I'll say this. My wife was more than happy for us to go to the courthouse and get married. And in all honesty, if a woman, the most a woman should really care about getting a wedding spent on her is the cost of a marriage license and a courthouse wedding. That's how much they should really care. Now, of course, you want to go ahead. I'm not saying don't spend a wedding if you don't want to, but don't do it because that's what she wants and it's her special day. If you don't have the funds to pay for an extravagant wedding, don't pay for one. And if she really cares about it that much, she's not the one for you, bruv. All right? Because it's just a party. It's for one day. If you got money set it aside for your future so you can live in a house. Okay. When me and my wife got married, we were just happy to go and get a courthouse wedding, boom, damn, done. But we knew my mom would be a little upset because of it. So we had the party and our wedding was like $2,000 at most, I think it was. And I'm probably overestimating. Now, when we're secured enough, have our kids and everything, I do plan to do a vow renewal and give her an actual wedding and shit like that. But like if you're not able to do it in an extravagant wedding and she cares that much about it, then just move on, dude. Because like a woman who cares more about the day, the party, the wedding day, and the money being spent on it isn't a woman who's going to care about being a wife. And that's what marriage ultimately is. It's not about a party. It's about being a wife. And so much women nowadays are caring more about being, that their special day than they do about the wife part. Like, stop it. Stop spending money on a fucking wedding. It's a party. Who fucking cares?
For me, it's not about control. It's about having boundaries and standards. I'm never going to say, you can't do this. All I can control is what I do. So you want to go do it? Okay. We're no longer in a relationship. I'm not going to take you seriously in a relationship if you are engaging in these activities. When a woman says that you're controlling, toxic, insecure for not wanting your girl to go party 4 or 5 nights a week and get drunk and put herself in these sorts of situations, that's basically essentially just shaming language. You're trying to shame men out of using our masculine instincts to keep her out of positions that put the relationship at risk. For me, it's not.
Yeah, it's always like they always want to go and party and all that shit. I'm like, well, I need to be social, and go get a hobby that doesn't require you to go out at night. Okay, if it's getting dark out, you need to be home. There we go. That's my boundary. Like, Like, I love it because these are the same women who want to go out, party, do their thing, woo, and then also, but expect a monogamy from a man. Like, look, they're the same women who, when like they go on Fresh and Fit and they tell he's like, no, I'm not gonna be monogamous to a woman, blah 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 blah, and they're like, well, then why don't you just stay single? Well, if you want to party and do all that, why don't you stay single and do that? Like, there's the same type of women who do that. Like, if you want to go party and have fun, cool. But to men that understand their value, you're effectively single at that point. And if you're with a man that understands his value but still wants to bang you, you're sex only. Okay, so you should really think about it. If this is the type of man you want to lose a relationship with, if he decides, if you decide to go and do your party thing, and he decides, all right, bye, bitch, you're single. Like, seriously. If more men operated like this, world would be a better place. Look, if you want to go out and do your thing, go ahead. You're more than welcome to do that. Okay? Go and have your fun. More than welcome to, but I'm not going to take you seriously. And there's nothing toxic about that. It's just a boundary. It's like, look, if you want to do this, you're free to go. It's the same thing going on with Fresh and his future baby mama. People are like, oh, he's pressuring her into taking a pill, blah, 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 to get an abortion, blah, blah, fucking blah. And it's like, really? You can take a pill and I can't, and I don't want kids? That's pressure? It's ridiculous. But yeah, if you want to do these things, peace out. Like, very simple. It's not toxic. It's not insecure. It's like, look, I have a boundary. You want to cross it? That's fine. Do you be happy? Just don't be part of my life.
Men are stronger and bigger than us. If we have a weapon, they can always wrestle it out of us and use it against us. For that
this is
purpose, I actually
hilarious.
start training like BJJ.
Useless.
Yeah, so
Well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why would you think that if a guy could wrestle a gun away from you, which is about the deadliest object you can have, that he's not going to have a massive advantage over you if you know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
yeah, so in my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, like one of her friends, she's a purple belt, and she was attacked by 2 people, and she broke all their legs, and it was like on
Yeah,
the
well,
so.
Yeah, that
mean,
never happened. Your friend was not attacked by 2 men
You
and then
can look
broke
it
their
up.
legs. That's absurd.
4'11" girl attacked.
Your 4'11" girlfriend did not break a bunch of men's legs.
Because men are stronger and bigger
Hold on.
than us.
Now,
If
it's
we
already
have a
been
weapon, they
debunked. I'm going to look it up right now. Yeah, nothing. The only thing on it is about that is a gymnastic chick that broke both her legs. There's nothing. And it turns out, so you hear this, all right? I watched this episode. So it turns out she says this, and then she says, oh no, it's not my friend. It's a friend of a friend. So the bullshit just keeps going. Oh yeah, it's impossible. All right. Now I understand Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's you move the person's weight, blah, 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 blah. Cool. But even an unskilled guy, if he weighs way more than you, which most guys do, then he's still going to overpower you on sheer weight because you're not going to be able to move very much, very fast with a bunch of weight on you. Like, you're 150 pounds and my 300-pound ass attacks you and we get on the ground, I'm just going to lay on you and you're not going to be able to do anything really. Like, it's so dumb. Like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yeah, maybe it's good to distribute their weight and throw them on the ground so you can run away. Sure, but it's so ridiculous.
Parents both know what you guys are doing. My dad commends me for all my hard work.
He's a
that I
terrible
put
dad.
into myself and
Were-
my business.
Were both of your fathers involved in your life growing up?
Yes, my dad and my mom are still together.
Andrew, I see you shaking your head there. Do you have any thoughts?
If your dad didn't know, right, or he was unapproving after he did know, I guess I can understand that. But a father who would approve of their children doing sex work is a fucking scumbag himself. Absolute horrible piece of shit who deserves at the very least a bit of a talking to. That's unfathomable to me.
But we're grown adults.
That's even possible. Yeah, but that doesn't mean he has to be approving. In fact, because you're grown adults, he should be even less approving.
Do your parents?
I love that. We're grown adults. Yeah, so doesn't mean you automatically get approved. If you start doing drugs, I should be approving of that. You're destroying your life and your potential future. I shouldn't be approving that. My daughters start doing sex work, I'm disowning their asses until they stop doing it, and then they can be reowned. Simple as that. Like what is this? Like, I can I could at the very least understand. I disapprove. I really hate that you do this. I don't want you to do this, but still wanting a connection to your child, I could at least understand that. But hearing this and approving of it, fuck you, you dirty fucking piece of shit father. If you're a father and you approve of your daughter doing OnlyFans, you're a piece of shit. And odds are you probably subscribe to it because you're a fucking perv. This is ridiculous. Yes, he's approving. God, you're fucking ridiculous. Fucking fathers these days. This is why society is where it is. We got shitty fathers. I don't remember what this was about.
Saying that we should get rid of sporting categories altogether. Do you support the idea of eliminating the Paralympics versus the Olympics?
I think that's a really great question. And
my God.
I need to look into that.
That's very ablephobic.
I said a load of crap.
Well, so have you.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
I understand physiology and sport.
Well, good for you.
You don't.
Good for you, but you don't understand loving a human being.
Loving a human being has nothing to do with letting a dude enter a woman's sports because he says that he's a chick and wears a dress. Come on.
We're saying that we should get rid of sporting categories altogether. Do you support the idea?
Okay. Yeah, Riley Gaines just owned this dude. Do you support getting rid of the Paraplegic Olympics? Well, that's ablephobic. Like, look, there's two very simple solutions. I don't care which you do. Okay, either A, all right, if you're born a dude, you compete in dude sports. Born a chick, you compete in chick sports. All right, you either do that, or we do a complete separate category of sports. Okay, a third option, and it's if you identify as whatever, you can compete in this section. All right. So it's one of the two scenarios that's the most fair. All right. Because these women are losing. All right. We all know this by now. Anyone who doesn't think this is a fucking idiot. We all know that women in sports are losing these dudes pretending to be chicks. They're losing all their scholarships, all their achievement, everything. Their college minutes, everything. All right. They're losing all this shit. Because we're allowing men to do women's sports. They're losing all this. But don't you care about women? Well, yeah, you care about women until it's some dude in a dress saying, well, I feel oppressed if I can't do the same sport as a woman. So you got two options. What you were born with is where you compete, or whatever the fuck you identify with category. Those are your options. That's the most fair.
Argues with the state lawyer until the sheriff has to get involved. He almost loses it at the end.
I need to talk to my lawyer. I don't want to talk no more. He has invoked his right. Anything thereafter would be inadmissible.
He reinitiated, and that was what.
But that's their issue. That's not my issue. You all are just annoyed that your detective did something that he probably regrets now. Don't interrupt this particular investigation.
Reinitiates the conversation.
Your Honor,
two
at
things,
some
Your
point,
Honor, I'm
Your
sorry,
Honor.
I'm talking,
Your
and
Honor,
I
at
don't know
some
why I
point,
am being interrupted.
Because they're saying a bunch of shit, lady. That's why.
I will not
Bullshit.
stop.
Hey,
Your
hey,
Honor.
hey.
I was speaking.
Ms. Lowe, y'all got.
I'm sorry, I was speaking.
Both y'all can't talk at the same time.
I know, I was
Under the
speaking,
state
and I-
law, hey, both of you all need to just take it down a notch. You continually engage in this pattern of behavior, Ms. Love. You don't want to accept my ruling. Yeah, but at some point, stop. Just stop. I made my ruling.
The judge.
Then why don't you hold her into contempt or sanction her? She continues to that's what power the judge has. He's not doing it because he's on her side, but he understands what is the right decision here. But instead of just saying it's like, look, if you keep arguing, I'm going to sanction your ass. So stop arguing. Once I make my ruling, I'm done. Okay. Write me a formal objection if you'd like, but don't argue with me anymore. Simple as that. But yeah, if I don't want to talk anymore, that should automatically be Yeah, I invoked my right to an attorney and be silent. Shut up. All right, let's watch
I already know this one's gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings, but this man just doesn't care. And nor do I.
The language we use matters. Being specific is important. If you care about the truth. I refuse to participate. I'm not adopting your language. I'm not respecting your preferences. You don't own reality. You don't own grammar. You don't own definitions. You're not important enough to provide me with an instruction manual on how to talk to you. Are you kidding? How important do you have to think you are?
I already know this.
Shout out to this politician for finally saying the truth. All right. I'm really tired of this shit. You gotta speak to me in this way, or else I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe, or I feel offended. Well, go fuck yourself. All right. Fuck off. Like, I don't care. I'm going to use the language I want to use. And if you don't like it, then don't conversate with me. Boom. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's not that hard, people. It's not that hard. If you don't want to hear my language, don't conversate with me. It's simple.
And oppressed under this patriarchy.
This day and age, I think our modern laws are not oppressive, but I think we're still recovering from a formerly oppressive patriarchy.
Okay, so how were women oppressed?
We didn't have the right to vote.
They're
Now
not wanting-
women finally own more homes than men. We didn't have the right to a mortgage till recently, till like 1973.
Didn't women not want the right to vote? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't believe that. I think they fought for the right to vote.
Well, it's interesting. Women were able to secure the right to vote without the corresponding responsibility of being subject.
And that's incorrect. Women did not, the majority of women did not want the right to vote because of this corresponding responsibility. You would have to be drafted, bucket duty, basically volunteer firemen, etc. So they got the right to vote without actually the responsibility that came with it.
To forced military conscription. Are women oppressed under this patriarchy?
So yeah, she's incorrect. All right. You know, men are generally far more oppressed than women are. It's what it is. But women didn't want the right to vote. Just because some women fought doesn't mean a majority didn't want it. This was a good one here.
College is a scam. So what is the national graduation rate? I mean, you tell me. 59%. What percentage of kids that graduate college get jobs that do not require a college degree 10 years after graduating? I'm not sure. Over half. What do you think they learn that is most useful in the marketplace?
You have interpersonal people skills. You have the ability to speak. You have communication classes where you learn how to make a speech, like I'm doing right now. We're not actually having a discussion if you just keep throwing buzzwords in here. So let me ask you this. So when you say college is a scam, you kind of conceded already that parts of college are not a scam, right?
Well, it depends what you again.
And then you but the parts that
encourage
are
you to
a
read
scam,
my
hold on.
book.
But the parts I'm not going to read your book. Listen,
Well,
I'm
but if
talking to
you're
you.
not then you're not arguing in faith
Come on,
because
listen. I'm arguing because I'm talking to you right now. I want to know what you're saying. I don't give a about your book.
Getting a little upset.
I'm telling you.
College is a scam for the most part. It really depends on what type of degree you got. If you want to go become a doctor, a lawyer, etc., and all that shit, college degree is probably a good idea. Yeah. But if you're going for a college degree in gender studies, that's a scam. Okay. The reason it's a scam is because you're paying way more than you'll get back in. Like I was talking about earlier with the legendary 3D gamer. If you're investing in something and you don't get a return on your investment, then what's the point? Okay. So if you go in and you're investing in a degree in gender studies, but then you end up working at Walmart because you can't get a job in gender studies to help pay off your degree, it's a scam. All right. So it really depends on what type of degree you're getting. But for the most part, college is a scam. Okay. Now, if you go into STEM fields and maybe some other ones, I don't know about all of them, but definitely if you go into any of the STEM fields, not a scam. You go into anything else, more than likely a scam.
Communications course you talk about in college, you probably haven't learned very much. First of all, communication, don't swear at the person you're talking to. You're kind of proving the point that college is a scam by you making a fool of yourself in front of everybody. So you should go demand your money back from that communications professor.
I don't think college.
So he's like, and another thing, he's like, I'm not going to read your book. Well, then why? Because if you read his book, you would get an insight to what he's thinking, and you could come back with a better argument and defeat his points better than you could on the fly. Because if you read his book, you'd be able to prepare. Then when he showed up, you could defeat his arguments instead of trying to think on the fly when you haven't really delved this much into it. You're just there because you're outraged because he's here. That's the general point. What the fuck? Why am I saying? I'm not doing this one. Sorry, that last one's like a 30-minute clip. I don't know exactly what I wanted to point out about that, but whatever. All right.
People will say these ridiculous things. They say submission is slavery. That's insane. Every time you get in the back of a taxi cab, you're submitting. You're putting everything in somebody else's hands to get you from point A to point B. You submit to complete strangers, but you won't submit to your own men. It's that to me is insane. Same thing. Get on an airplane. You don't meet the pilot. You don't know the pilot. You don't know his background. You don't know shit. You just expect that this large corporation that sees you as a number, doesn't give a shit about you, is going to get you from point A to point B, but you won't submit to your own men. That's insanity too.
I do have a question. I also feel
even your
like
boss, like you go to work every single day. Your boss says XYZ. You don't say, you know what? I don't like that. What about this? And your boss is like, I don't know. It's going this way. You can get fired.
Not only that, they'll wear a uniform to their job and wear what they say, but then you tell her, hey, I don't like the way you're going out. Oh, well, you can't. I'm wear what I want. Why are you so insecure?
People are.
I want to say, all right, before I dive into this, breaking news. It looks like the prosecutor in charge of the Tate brothers case has just resigned. Or has resigned his case. Here, let me bring it up. So Tristan Tate, the prosecutor in charge of my case here, Romania, in Romania has resigned. My case, plenary chamber ends tomorrow. After that, it's time to show the evidence needed to convict me. I was looking forward to seeing him in court. The look on his face when I went, I've been robbed. Now let's see. Okay. My contacts with the court have told me that Rares Protrude Stan, the primary prosecutor in the Tate case, has parted ways with Decott. He is now with the general prosecutor. Development truly fully baffling. Stand rotation. Okay. So yeah, looks like he's resigned from the case. So it's looking more and more like the Tate brothers are going to be found innocent because the guy realizes they don't have a fucking case. All right, back to this. But yeah, I said this before. It's like these women, they submit to their husband or to their job. They listen to their job. They do all this for their job. People that don't give a shit about them. But when you ask them to do it for the people they love and their husband, they're like, no, I don't want to. Okay, but you do it for a job. Why won't you do it for a person you love? Why won't you submit and release control from someone you love and trust, but you'll do it for complete strangers? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think it makes any sense to anyone.
Has led to my family in Cuba having ACs. Like we all have houses. Like I've done good things with my money. I don't think that the girls that are doing
Yeah,
bad
all
things-
you had to do in order to get that was prostitute yourself. Do you think that was a good exchange? Does your dad say, thanks for the AC? I'm glad that you prostituted yourself for my AC. Honestly, does your dad say, thank you for prostituting yourself so I have air conditioning?
Well, that's not spoken about. My financial freedom has led to my family.
The answer is no, he's not. Okay, like look, these women will try to just like do everything backwards to justify. Oh, I could, I can provide AC to the family, my family in Cuba. Cool, but it wasn't the reason you did it. The reason you did it was to profit and get material gains for yourself. A consequence of that is you're able to give the poor family in Cuba AC, but it doesn't deter from the fact that, hey, you did it because you could gain a material gain. Okay, that's what it is. That's the reason you did it. You didn't do it because, oh, poor family in Cuba. You did it because you could get a material gain initially for yourself. And then, the consequences was you could, give a poor family in Cuba some money. And it's ridiculous. But is it really worth being able to provide that AC to prostitute yourself? Is it really worth it? I don't think it is. And I don't think the father, if he's a good father again, would agree this was worth me getting AC. Okay? I'm pretty sure if he's a good father, he's like, I would rather be here sweating, dying of heat exhaustion than having my daughter prostitute herself just so I could get some AC. I think that's what generally a good father would say. Not generally. A good father would say that. Okay. I would rather me dying because I'm exhausted from heat than allowing my daughter to prostitute herself just to get me some AC.
Talk about hierarchies in the animal kingdom, whether you talk about corporate structures. When a boss or someone in leadership above you says, no, this is not going to happen, or yes, this is going to happen, their word goes. It doesn't matter what you think.
But you can compare that with a marriage.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
not the same.
yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes.
And I'm talking about my
I'm talking
experience
about,
because I've been married for
Well,
almost a decade.
I'll take my dad as an example. He listens to my mom. Like, she is the first person he'll ask like advice from. Hey, this is going on. What do you think we should do? We're going to talk about this. It's going to affect our family, our marriage. She'll give her opinion, but then my dad makes the final decision. And he's made plenty of decisions that my mom disagrees with, but because he is the leader, he has the final say. And that's what leadership is. You have the final say. And with that final say comes responsibility. So if it doesn't pan out the way that you wanted it to pan out, you are responsible for that failure. When you talk about higher.
Yeah, this is what a lot of women don't understand about this. And that chick's lying. Like she's like, oh, I'm just talking about my experience. I've been married for a decade. It's probably not a very good marriage because you probably have to like, boss him around, and he's not a real leader, doesn't take charge. And you're probably with him because he can't get any better. But that's responsibility of leadership. And most women want a man who leads them. Okay. So if I'm leading you, I have the final say. All right. What I say goes. It happens with me and my wife. All right. Now, I am like that guy's father. I will talk to my wife about something, and I will, get her opinions and her thoughts on the matter. But because she is my wife and I trust her, and we've been together and we've had, experience, not the same level of experience, but a shared experience for 8 years now. We've been together for 8 years, been married for 6. If I'm doing my math correctly. So I will go and talk to her about stuff that affects our family and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I decide what goes. For example, when my wife was pregnant with our first child, and the same with their second one, she had gestational diabetes. Basically, it's just pregnancy diabetes. All right. So she's got to maintain her sugar level. Basically, she's a diabetic for like 9 months. Basically. All right. So there was 2 options for her to regulate, because you can, like, depending on the level, you can either just regulate it through diet, or you'll have to take insulin. Okay, those were but there was 2 options. There was one option where it was a harmless pill. She swallows it. It goes across the placenta. Doesn't really affect the baby, so they say, or anything. Or she could go and poke herself once or twice a day to give herself insulin shot. She came to me and was like, all right. Now she understands all this medical mumbo jumbo. I don't. So whenever we have to do medical mumbo jumbo, my wife dumps it down for me, and then I make a decision. But my wife came to me and she's like, all right, so this is this or this. All right. She explains to me, I can either take insulin shots, or I can take a pill that, it goes across the placenta, doesn't, like they say, doesn't really affect the child, etc. What do you think I should do? And I told her, you're going to take the insulin shot, because even though they say it doesn't really wouldn't affect the baby, it just passes by the placenta, I would rather not risk it and just have you take insulin where we know doesn't affect the baby. She didn't argue with me. So she went through, was it like 7 or 8 months stabbing herself repeatedly with a needle and giving herself shots because of my decision. Okay? That is true submission, ladies. All right? When you go, that's what it means to have a leader as a man. That's submission. That's what it's like to have a man that's a leader. You ask him, he tells you, that's the final say. She didn't argue with me. She's like, okay. Because I gave her my, I'm the person that I give my logic for it. But I told her, it's like, look, even if they say that it doesn't harm the baby, I would feel more comfortable if we didn't do this. And so she did the insulin. Okay, that's an example of what it is when you have a leader and he has the final say. It's what it is. No questioning, no bothering, simple. These chicks, I want to have a say in everything. Yeah, you don't really want to be led then, do you?
Don't care about your opinions because men and women are very different. We live much harder lives than you guys do. So we don't respect your opinions. This is being honest with y'all, how men really think.
Right? We don't care across the board about most people's opinion. And for some reason, though, women seem to be trapped in this isolated thinking mechanism of how other people think of me controls how I do life. It's insane, but that's why social shame for women is particularly effective, but not particularly effective towards men. Men conform far less than women because of that phenomenon.
It's actually a very masculine trait to not care about other people's opinions. Men are different. We care about someone's opinion only if that individual excels in something that we respect, or that individual has some type of merits, right? Like men, we're dominant hierarchies. Oh, you're better than me at this, I respect you. But with women, it's not like that. Like you guys, everybody gets an opinion. No, we don't operate that way. We only value opinions and takes from people that are either at our level, if not better. The reason why we don't.
It's a really good point. And it's extremely true. Like if someone below me, like saying, okay, so I got 33 people on Rumble. If someone like that has no followers on Rumble starts telling me shit, I'm going to ignore them. All right. It is what it is. Like, look, I have more followers than you. We're not on the same level, even though I'm not that high up. All right. I'm not going to respect their opinion. But if Myron, Brian, or even Brian from whatever, or Andrew comes and says, hey, this is what you need to do, I'm going to respect their opinion, probably follow their advice because they're above me. All right. And they're absolutely right. Men, we don't respect the, and like, if you're out here, just think about it. Like, think about the people's opinions that you actually legitimately respected and followed their advice. It's more than likely someone who is on your level or above. And that's why there's supervisors in corporate, there's higher ups in corporate and all that stuff, because the majority of workforce is men. Okay. And we're not going to respect anyone's opinion unless they're above us or at our level. And yes, do you have outliers where the person above you isn't competent and you don't really respect them? True, but men will generally respect the position as well. So that it's a really big difference between men, and they really put a fine point, because I realize my wife really cares. She doesn't care that much, but she cares a little bit more about what other people's opinions are. Me, I don't give two shits. It's whatever. Like, she cares a little bit more than I do. And, it is what it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like men are care more about hierarchies, because that we just need someone that men require someone above us to tell us what to do, because then we can respect their opinion. Okay, if you're not on our level at the minimum, we're not going to respect your opinion because we don't. Okay, it's the same way that if you go and you have a trust fund baby, or you have a guy who has no money try and give you financial advice, you're not going to give a fuck about his opinion. But then if all of a sudden he makes a bunch of money and now he's higher than you, then you're going to give a shit about his opinion, because he's proven it. And what the hierarchy shows is generally proof that you have the necessary requirements to talk about that to me and give me advice on it. That's what hierarchies are generally for. All right.
Her husband makes a year?
I don't, but he's the Steve Jobs of the town of energy, so to say.
So let me ask you this. Are you expecting her child support to be based on his Steve Jobs?
No, his success has nothing to do with me or my daughter or our daughter. And like I said, I just want a little more help, because she's
Okay.
getting older, and if she's happily married with whoever and how big his wallet is, that is totally up to her.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that's not what you were doing because you can't do that. Do you know?
See, it's a very reasonable response from a guy. It's like, no, I don't give a shit how much he makes. He has nothing to do with me and my daughter, or our daughter. Okay, if she's working, I expect the child support to come from him because she's the one responsible. Well, I'm very willing to bet. I haven't seen this, but I'm willing to bet if a woman, all right, wants child support from her husband and he marries someone and she starts making makes a ton more than her, then she's going to expect, the spouse to the child support to be based on the spouse's income. I'm willing to bet that. I got no proof, all right, got no evidence. I'm just willing to bet that is all. It was a very reasonable response from the guy, and that's a good response from him. Like, I don't care what he makes. It has nothing to do with this. I just want a little more help from her wages.
Safety nets afforded to women that are men. Like, our society just generally likes women more than they like men. Like, only women and children are loved unconditionally.
They're more likely to be loved unconditional. Like, they're closer to the unconditional love. It's really, I don't think there's really any such thing as conditional love. There's just a higher tier level of conditions for women than there are men. Like, for women, you cheat on me, I'm leaving your ass. All right. For kids, you kill someone, you rape someone, you do a very heinous crime, I'm done with you. Okay. Or even doing OnlyFans in my case. For men, if you lose your job, you got a time clock. That's how it generally operates. So I disagree with the unconditional part. It's, the unconditional for kids are, you have that condition until you're about teenage level. I think you have that unconditional love until about teenage level. It's when you can really make some actual decisions. In my opinion, I think that's generally for women. It's just a really high tier. It's like, just don't fuck anyone other than me, and you're probably going to be loved regardless of how you act.
Men have to earn it.
Yeah,
like men
absolutely have to earn it. We have a condition. Our condition is to, provision, provide, all that shit, protect, all that shit. We have to earn our love. It's fine.
Men are not loved by society unless they provide certain kind of value. Generally, in our society, women are praised, loved, adored, regardless of what they produce or provide. So in the case of homelessness, like, if a man can't provide, well, sucks to be that guy. He should just work on himself. But if a woman can't provide for herself, how can we help her to make sure that she stays off the streets? That's generally the attitude people will have. And that's the attitude that our systems have. There's simply more social safety.
Yeah, I think there's far more women's shelters than there are men's shelters. I could be wrong about that, but I swear I saw a study something like that. But I could be wrong. I'm willing to admit I'd be wrong in that. But I would be far more surprised if there's even an even amount. But I'm willing to bet there's more women's shelters than men.
Women file for divorce, lesbian couples file for divorce 100% more than gay men file for divorce. So even when you don't have men to blame, you are still leaving relationships.
Listen. I love this. Yo. She didn't skip nothing, bro. She didn't skip nothing.
Do you understand? And by the way, do you want to know the number one?
This is why women deserve less book stores than this. God damn.
Do you want to know what precipitates lesbian divorce the most? Do you want to know what it is? It's when lesbian women have children. And when they have children, I don't know the data on this, but I will bet you every penny I have that the lesbian member that files for the divorce is the one who is the biological mother of the child. I almost guarantee you, because homosexuality for women is a spectrum, and for men it's more binary. So what happens is all of a sudden she has a baby and she looks over at her partner and she looks at the baby and looks at her partner and thinks about, I need someone to protect, provision, provide, and it's not you, and so I'm going to go start dating men again. And women,
I'd be willing. He's right on that. But yeah, it's interesting. Even when you take men out of the equation, women are still divorcing far more than men. Because men are simple. We're simple. We don't need much to be happy, and we're already able to protect and provide for ourselves. Women, you need a strong man to do that. All right. And it is what it is. You can hate it, you can love it. I don't care, but it is what it is. And it's very interesting, that study where it was like lesbian couples divorce way more than women.
You realize that that's a terrible father.
I know.
That's not a good dad who would ever tell their. Now, let's say you marry the guy of your dreams. Do you want the guy of your dreams to tell your daughter, if she turns 22, that it's okay if she does OnlyFans and sex work? Would you actually want him to say that to her? Would you do the follow your dreams thing, or would you expect him to step in and be like, listen, you're my daughter, you're my brood. I spent years of my life raising you. I love you. I adore you. There's no fucking way I'm going to let you shame yourself or your family by doing OnlyFans. Wouldn't you prefer that he did that? Your future husband?
Of course she does. She absolutely does.
Yeah. I hope that my future husband acts the opposite of my biological father. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Good for her. Like, look. Is she gonna get it? Probably not. But good for her to be like, yeah, I don't want it. And she even acknowledges that, like, yeah, it's really fucking weird that my dad subscribes to my OnlyFans, or I can't remember what, or approves. No, he doesn't subscribe. He approves. Sorry. He approves of her OnlyFans. And she's like, this is weird for me. I don't like it. And so what she desires in a mate is someone who's put her foot down, like, no, you're not fucking doing this. Are you out of your fucking mind? Fuck you. That's what she desires, and that's cool. And Andrew's completely right. You're a bad father if you're like, dude, I'm cool. I approve. I encourage my daughter to do OnlyFans. You're a bad father, point blank. I don't care what anyone says.
Make good money. The guys like it when you're not showing fucking everything.
No, they don't. That's a lie.
I'm sorry, but they
it's
want
true.
they like classy women.
Oh my God.
Yeah, classy women, not
Like,
whores.
yeah, you have an OnlyFans page, but you're not fucking I'm not over here spreading my ass cheeks and playing with my shit on my page. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're above all that.
Yeah. I am.
That's only the gross ones that do that.
No, honestly, I'm not. It's not even like that. Like, do whatever you got to do for your money, but that's not what I'm doing.
Why is it disrespectful, though?
Don't do that. I actually make good money.
Let me tell you something, because I watched this episode too. She doesn't make good money. You want to know how I know? Because she has a side job, or her main job. Sorry, not a side job. Her main job is a server. She's a server. She does OnlyFans on the side. And I don't care what you say. If you're, an OF creator, whatever, and your main resources, or even if you have a second job that's, not at anything like that's a hobby or anything. Sorry, quote, side job. If you have a side job that's not anything except a hobby, like an actual hobby, then like photography or some shit like that, then you're not making good money on OnlyFans. At most, she probably gets like $100 a month. Her main source of income ends up being a server, so she doesn't actually make good money on OnlyFans. Oh, this is hilarious right here. Let's get off the women and men and the whores and everything. Let's do something that should irritate everyone equally.
Yeah, but you don't need it. Yeah, you don't. No, that's a negative, man. You're not gonna get it. Hey, check that deal. I will sue the shit out of you guys. There is no crime committed. I don't need to give you my ID. I didn't do nothing. There's no crime committed. Yep, no problem. I need your supervisor. Don't stop recording. There's no crime. I'm trying to. No, because you guys don't need my fucking ID. What part of that don't you fucking understand? God damn, you guys are fucking stupid in my heart.
A few moments later.
I'm gonna put you in handcuffs of what you did to me. You violated my rights. You're not arguing. Shut the fuck up and get your car. You're dismissed. Get me out of these fucking handcuffs. Stupid, man. Stupid, non-professional people, man. Look at that. Look at that.
I bet none of those cops experienced any real consequences of their actions.
You guys recording that?
Mm-hmm. You know why? Qualified immunity. That's why we got to get rid of it.
Animals. I need to hear the stupid ass motherfucker. Somebody doesn't give you ID doesn't mean you put them in handcuffs. Yeah, you go f yourself.
How embarrassing is it for you? Oh yeah, you need your ID. Like I don't know the full circumstances of it, but clearly he didn't need to give her his ID because the supervisor came and was like, no, you don't. What are you doing? And woman keeps prattling on and keeps responding. Don't respond. Just say I'm sorry, my bad. You know how much that would like really gain you in a respect from a guy? Like, look, I'm sorry, My bad. I apologize. Here's the incident number. Here's my badge number, everything. Complain if you want. I am sorry. Boom. You probably would. He probably would. That probably would have done more to de-escalate the situation than her. There's probably a fairly good chance he may not have even filed any complaint or anything on you because you admitted this was my mistake. I was wrong. I'm sorry. That probably would cool him off. He's like, I'm angry that you did this to me, but I appreciate the apology. A simple apology could go a lot. Could go a long way. All right.
I don't understand this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. A girl that's on OnlyFans that shows her body to the world, okay? Though she is sexually attractive, men are never going to want to take her seriously. So her relationship market value is low.
That's
okay, now hold on. Wait 1 second. Just like a man who's a bum and homeless, he is the equivalent to a woman that is a sex worker. Because women are not going to take me seriously because I can't provide. And men are not going to take you seriously because you can't provide security with your body and everything else. Everyone has seen it. And you're on OnlyFans. It's not a good look. I hope you're going to understand this, but I'm...
Women don't seem to understand this, or they're choosing to ignore this. If you're on OnlyFans, you're effectively a homeless man in the eyes of the opposite gender. Okay, because the value that you provide us is chastity, virtue, the appearance of a good woman, shit like that. All right, that's what men value in women. What women value in men is resource, protecting, provisioning, etc. Okay. That's what women value in men. What we value in women is completely different. So just because you're an OF baddie who's making a bunch of money, we don't care about that, because at the end of the day, even if you're making all this money, you expect us to make more or at least be on your level. We don't care. Okay? Because odds are our desires above everything is if once we make a certain amount, you stay home and take care of the kids. So we do not care about how much money you make. And these OF girls don't understand this. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's like willful ignorance or just stupidity. I really don't understand it. Let me see this.
40-year-old man sleeping with an 18-year-old woman to be creepy.
Don't give a flying fuck. Not even a little.
I personally find that creepy and predatory.
Do you think she should vote?
That's a whole other discussion.
Oh, well, wait a second.
I love this. This is why Andrew is king at this. All right. It's a very simple question. All right. Let me play.
You don't want
I love this
dumb chick who these evil predators can just come and mangle her brain. You don't want them to be able to hang on. You don't want them to be able to vote and then cancel out the well-informed vote of 40-year-old men, do you?
Keep it here, man.
Why does any 40-year-old man, you're halfway through your life, want to have sex with someone fresh out of high school or maybe still in high school?
Well, okay.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, who gives a shit? Why is it that 18-year-old women should be allowed to vote?
I never said they should or shouldn't.
Should 21-year-olds be allowed to vote?
I think that high schoolers maybe should not vote.
Even at 18?
That's a whole... Yeah, a lot of 18-year-olds are still in high school or just graduating.
So then why not just advocate this?
Do you find a 40-year-old man sleeping?
Yeah, Andrew makes a brilliant point. It's like, all right, look, if she's too dumb, too naive, and could be manipulated so easy by a 40-year-old man, okay, so easily to trigger into a relationship and prey on her, then why then it would follow that she's also not intelligent enough to vote. Okay, because a 40-year-old man could come and manipulate her and prey her into changing her vote to something that is not of her own free will. Like the logic here, like I love Andrew so much. Do you find a 40-year-old man dating an 18-year-old creepy? No, I don't care. Okay, don't care. 18 legal. Okay, 17 illegal, creepy. 18 legal, don't care. Okay, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Why does it matter? Because I believe that adults can make their own choices. If you have the right to vote, you have the right to fuck, screw, marry, whoever the fuck you want. That's what we decided. So you can call it creepy, but what's great about it is during that show, he asked her a bunch of reasons why. Why are you against this? Why are you against this? And all she really could come back to is it gives me the ick. It's gross to me. Nothing else. It was gross to me. So it's like, all right, cool. If that's all your reasoning behind it, can fuck off. Who cares? Why should you care? Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to you. If she's either smart enough to choose who she wants to date and who she wants to, have sex with, who she wants to, possibly marry, all that. She's either intelligent enough to do that or she's not intelligent enough to vote. So therefore, we should cancel her vote. Simple. That was just a great dismantling by Andrew Wilson. Now, this kid, it's like, he's on the next level of most kids his age.
Just woke up and decided to completely destroy the school board and educate his own teachers. Check it out.
Despite the board's attempt to deny it, schools are quickly becoming a place where promoting activism is actually more important than promoting education. There are political signs all over RHS about specific races that matter, specific sexual orientations that matter. But when I questioned the RHS administration about how these signs were political, they told me that they were supporting human rights. So when I questioned why the equity statement couldn't represent all students, they told me that to even ask that question was outlandish and offensive. They told me, quote, whites have a pretty good situation right now, unquote. So is that not racism? Disregarding my question merely because of the color of my skin. To be honest, after enduring a year of the people in charge telling me that I'm a racist and I'm privileged, I've never noticed race more. Now, members of the board, I want you to take a good look at yourselves in the mirror tonight and ask, are you really standing up for the equality of all people? Or are you just pushing a damaging political ideology on our students?
This kid.
Ignore that pin. I was just saying what that does. Sorry. So that was from way early. That's from like an hour ago. So ignore that. But this kid makes a very good point. Is that's what generally schools are, and people are realizing that, and that's like one of the good things that came from COVID. I know it sucked and everything, but at least a positive that came from COVID is parents became awoken to all the bullshit that these liberal professors were doing and pushing onto their kids. They woke up to that. They're like, oh shit, this is what they're teaching you. This is what they're showing. This is wrong. This is bullshit. So they were forced to become a more active participant in their kids' education, and I think that was great. But yeah, all they're like it's starting to care. Like, or was it California or Washington or something? They canceled. What is it? Hold on. I think it was California. I was looking. They dropped like standardized test or something like that because black people were in their views, black people were too far incompetent to do it correctly or score high level because I can't remember exactly what it was. But a state canceled like either standardized test. Oh no, it was math. Wait, was it? Hold on. Let's see. It's gonna drive me nuts, but like they canceled like reading and math before. I can't remember. It's driving me nuts now. But I can't remember. They just ended up like canceling like some sort of like standardized test or some shit like that because it was, according to them, disproportionately affecting black people. And that's what they're focusing on. Okay, why don't you focus on bringing these kids up to meet those requirements instead of just canceling altogether? It's a bigotry of low expectations. I spent too much time on that. I just couldn't. It's driving me nuts, and it's going to drive me nuts until I remember it. I swear to God. And then this is a professor who finds out that the real world has consequences.
I had an abortion 2 years ago, and I don't regret it at all. They yanked the fetus out of my uterus.
Can you look? I don't care what you think about abortion in this particular instance, but can you see that this woman is inherently evil by just she yanked the fetus out of my uterus and is celebrating that? You can't think it's okay to support. In my opinion, if you support abortion, but you don't really people celebrating it, then I can at least understand and kind of be on your
And I'm
side on
so
that. But these people, they talk about abortion and they praise it, they support it. You shouldn't be supporting this.
happy.
Okay.
I'm so grateful.
Okay.
And I'm a professor at this university.
Okay.
And I make more money than you.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll pray for you. Okay. We'll pray the Lord save you. Okay. No problem. I wish I knew your name so we can know where to pray. Well.
I hate that. We'll pray for you. You think that person gives two shits whether you're going to pray for them? That's just to appeal to your own ego.
Either way, you're a soul. Either way, you're a soul.
Kind of an asshole.
What makes me that?
You kind of ruined everybody's lunch. You're like, oh, you
Sorry.
took the cord out.
Yeah, I took the cord out. Yeah,
Okay.
you won't give me my mic back. Please give me my mic back, please. Please, young lady. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Okay, you're not stronger than me. All right. God bless you.
God bless you.
Hey, officer! This young lady she's trying to rip my stuff up.
Yeah.
Walk away right now. You're under arrest. Put your hands behind you.
We pray for the grace of God for you.
Now, fun fact: this is a New York City professor. She, she's like, "Oh, I had an abortion. This is great. Ha ha ha. Yeah. I make more money than you," and she's fired. She got fired from her university. Good. She should have. She got fired. Like, look, it's okay, but don't try and steal people's shit. All right, it's not your shit. Don't touch it. And she got arrested. All she had to do, she got so much change. All she had to do was just not to let go of her. Just let go of the dude's mic, and she couldn't do it. And so what happened? She got arrested and fired from her job. Wonderful. Hold on. Okay. Can't do it. Okay. All right.
Guys are considering who you're voting for. What's like the primary issue that drives you? Is it abortion or?
Yes, that is a driving force for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I think
Okay.
abortion is a driving force.
So isn't it kind of interesting that for a lot of women, young women that I speak to, there's these like isms and ideologies that are so strongly implanted in your brain, but you haven't really even done the work to come to that conclusion, yet it manifests in the form of you voting in a political way. I would assume you're probably Democrats, or you vote for politicians, not solely, but strongly because of what they do with abortion. And when my side says that they use abortion as an issue to turn out the female vote, does it not make you think like, oh, isn't it interesting that I'm so passionate about this issue that I actually haven't done any research on? When you guys are considering who you're voting for, what's like the prime?
It's because the reason women do this is because they're more communitarian in nature. So, they want to do what they believe is good for everyone. And in their view, abortion is good for everyone because it allows the majority of women to go and be free and do what they want, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's why. But they don't really research that stuff. But that's the reason why women generally vote Democrat, is because they just care about everyone. And that's nice and all, but it doesn't get anything done, doesn't end up really leading to the good of society. But it is funny that she goes and just points out like, yo, you're very strong. This is your driving force. You vote for Democrat because of this. You don't really know much about it. And I'm willing to bet, if you show them an actual abortion and how it actually works and everything, they will be anti-abortion like that. That's what happens to a lot of women who go in for an abortion, and someone shows a video of a baby getting aborted, and they are they're against it instantly. And that's a good thing. All right. Last but simply not.
Your son came to you and said, "Mom, I'm going to marry a sex worker." What would your advice to him be? Follow your dreams, my son?
My advice to my son, if he wanted to pursue a sex worker, was, does she have an exit plan? What is y'all's long-term goals? Do you support this? And if not, what is that trajectory going to look like? It's all circumstantial, and there's no just like copy and paste answer to this. It's about what one another's motives are, and if it's not a good fit, then it's not a good fit, and it's not going to be beneficial or healthy for everyone.
If your son came to you and said,
all this woman just proved was she's a bad mother. Like honestly, if you're not going to tell your son, like, look, this is a bad bet for you. Okay, don't marry a sex worker. All right, it's a bad bet. Because it is. It's always a bad bet. Why is it a bad bet? Because it's going to ruin your life in some way, shape, or form. Okay, eventually your kid's going to get teased, bullied, and ostracized because of it. Your reputation is going to be damaged. There's nothing beneficial to marrying a sex worker. There's really not. Like, there's nothing beneficial. Okay, so just the correct response, but she doesn't want to give it because she is a sex worker, and she'd be like, you think she'd be viewed as horrible for not encouraging her son to marry someone like her. She doesn't want to encourage her son to not marry someone like her, because then in her mind she'd be like, well, that means I won't get married in the future because I'm encouraging someone not to, my son not to. But it ends up ruining your life regardless. So if you're a good mother, you want the best for your kids. And you know what's best for your kids, your son especially? Not marrying a sex worker. And it just is what it is. If you don't like it, tough. Okay? Sucks. Life sucks. But it's the truth. All right. That's the end. We're all done. I had a good spirited conversation with Legendary Gamer. Shout out to you, even though we do not agree on much, it appears. You never sent me that clip. Okay. I would have reacted to it, but you didn't send it because I don't know. You got offended. But shout out to you for at least coming in and having a conversation. Appreciate you. But you're wrong. I was right. Yeah. So, but yeah, make sure you give me a like and a follow. If you're watching this, subscribe. Be great, especially if you're on Rumble. Regardless if you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, make sure you go to rumble.com/withghost and give me a follow there. Let's see. I got nothing else for you guys. Hopefully Sunday I will be doing a video game stream, and I'll be trying to do video game streamings on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights. So be on the lookout for that. I hope you all have a good day. Peace out, and I'll see you later.